What's up, guys? It's Liquid from WTBC and Vaping Decoded. Getting ready for Halloween. Fro's getting a little tight. Becoming epic proportions. But it's really cool because it leads us into the review that we have today. Big hands, big fros, and big mods. I'm reviewing a mod that's really not a name. It's by a friend of mine, Keith Rice, and this is the mod he has come up with. It is big. When I first got it, he asked me if I'd do a quick review on it. It's just a beta test right now. He does have a couple of revisions, but he wanted me to check it out and see what I thought. And I got the device in the mail and pulled it out and I looked at it and I was like, geez, this thing is enormous. There's not pocket friendly. There's no way, man. How do I tell this cat that his mod is just way too big? And then I put batteries in it and checked it out, and it just kept holding. I was like, man, it's not really that bad. It's a really good desk mod, or like if you're at the shop or something like that. It's really cool. So I was like, well, what can I put on top of it? And I didn't want to do like a big monster dripper or anything like that. So I ended up putting on top of it my TNT 30 that I've had like no reason whatsoever to break out. Haven't ran a 26 millimeter device in a long time, but man, that just looks right. So it's at 34 watts. It's a dual 18650 parallel. Woo-hoo. It's like a freaking freight train. Got dual coil in here, 28 gauge, stainless steel, and for my wicking, and I'm setting at 0.4. Really good flavor. Man, I miss this Jenny. So I started using it and using it and freaking using it. Excuse me, anybody knows me locally, I go through a lot of liquid. And I work at a vape shop, so that's pretty much my job is to vape. This thing lasted me on two 18650s, lasted me about 3 days. And I mean, that just was straight going at it. I carried this thing for about 2 weeks. This was my go-to mod. This is what I would use all the time. And dude, it just kept up. It was really nice. And so I love the way it feels. I'm really, 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 really digging this thing. I know if you look at it, you're like, man, because it's pretty big. I don't have anything to reference it against, but does that help at all? The thing's it's enormous. It's zebra wood and some other weird word with a silent Z in it or something like that, but it's just put together really well. There's, it's impossible to see any of the seams whatsoever. Let's see if I can do a little spin around with this. It's nice and clean. Like I said, it is a beta test, so he just wanted me to check it out and see what he thought about the chip placement and whatnot. Really nice button. I love the button on this. And then there's just the standard screen. He just cut a hole out. I'm sure he's going to do like some beveling or something like that, but it was just very standard. But here's where the fun is. I don't know if you can see that little notch right there. That's where it comes apart. I mean, the thing is seamless. It's got the little rare earth magnets that are holding everything together, but it's more like airtight too. And then the inside is super, super clean. He does have a charge port on there. Don't think you really need it. He just put it on as an option. He asked me what I thought. Personally, I don't think you need a charge port in this thing, brother. I like it the way it is. But that button is just freaking enormous. And the chip lies behind the battery sled. There it is, seamless. You can't see nothing. Nothing. Now, Like I said, as for, something to put in your pocket, if you're driving around or something, not it. Especially with the Jenny on it, you're gonna have to keep it straight up. I did. Um, don't be mad. I dropped it, but nothing happened to it whatsoever. I didn't drop it on concrete or anything. I dropped it on the table. But the thing works like a freight train. I put a couple of 3,500 mAh 18650s in there, so it gave me 7,000 mAh, and it lasted me about 4.5 days um, before I had to charge it. I did not try charging through the device. I always take my batteries out to charge, so I don't really know how fast to charge. But yeah, the thing is just it's just nice. I just like the way that it feels in your hand. I mean, we're getting to these mods. There's certain mods out there that I love. And don't get me wrong. They're still really sought after mods, but they're just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and they're getting more and more power. Um, but I just feel like it's gonna. I don't know if you guys remember the StarTAC phones. Now, this is if you guys are old, you remember this. Younger kids aren't gonna remember it. Look it up, Google it or something. But like the StarTAC V2, the phone was literally this big. It was a little dinky flip phone. There was no apps or anything like that, but everything just got smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, it's good for people with small and smaller hands, but I got sausage fingers, man. I mean, and this was just really at first, because I'm used to those smaller mods, it was a little off-putting, but just after about 15 or 20 minutes of using this thing, you don't want to put it down. You have something in your hand. It's substantial. It feels like you got your money's worth, so to speak. And I really like it. I think Keith, I think you did a really good job, dude. I like the fact, and I know I talked to you about this earlier too. It's, it's really big, and you're talking about trying to find a way to shave it down. I say no, but that's personal preference. I think it's nice to have, something beefy, and God forbid if you do drop it, there's enough wood here you can sand that thing back, and everything will be okay. But with that being said, I mean, you could see the walls. This is not a thin mod. This is not a chintzy mod. It's not fragile, for lack of a better term. It's a beefy mod, and it also has looks on top of functionality. I mean, the thing works really well. It feels really well. I got a ton of compliments on it, and yeah, I think all in all, it's pretty cool. And like I said, on top of that, it gave me a reason to pull out my TNT 30. And I miss the Jennies. I mean, I have my next gen, but like the old school, make sure the holes are in the right place and tip the piss out of it Jennies. The last time I vaped this was when my Chiu Megan was relevant, and you know how long ago that was. But no, I really like it. I think it's cool. I just want to let you guys see it. Keith is a friend on West Texas Vaping Coalition. I'm sure you can look him up if you're interested in a mod. He said he does have a couple other designs coming out, and I'm sure there's some other things he can do to try to personalize it and make it your own. But all in all, I think it's a great mod. Anybody here locally that tried it, they thought it was really cool. Even had some girls that were like, I really like that, even though it's big. So there is a market. That's one thing that Keith was worried about. He thought, with the dawn of all these mods getting smaller and smaller, would somebody really like a nice big piece? And there's people out there who want a nice big piece every once in a while. All kidding aside, though, it's a great desk mod, good mod for the office. If you don't mind carrying it all the time, because you can't put this thing in your pocket, it might be something for you. I'm not really sure what pricing is going to be. The only issue that I did have was, and I think it just might be something with the ground. I did notice when I first put my TNT on, I have to back it off 1.5 turns because it says check atomizer. Then it'll fire, but as soon as I get it warmed up, I can slowly bring it back to tightness, and then it'll work okay. Never had that issue with the TNT on anything else, so I think it just might be something with the 510. But he'll know that now. But outside of that, thing works flawlessly. I haven't had any issues. Like I said, the button, it's like it slides. I don't know. I just locked it. I don't want to lock it. I want to vape it. It's really good flavor. I miss that. So there you go. That's the Babum big ass box mod. I guess I don't know what he's gonna call it, but his name's Keith Rice. Like I said, hit him up on West Texas Vaping Coalition, and I think he's on TIV as well. But check it out, guys. It's pretty cool. So there it is. Little review. Thanks a lot, guys. I do appreciate it. Hopefully some of that information was helpful to you. If you guys do know Keith, I think he's ready. He might be taking orders here really soon. If so, man, hit him up and get one, because I really like it. I think it's a nice addition to a collection. I will be getting hold of him soon and purchasing one. But like I said, I'm mailing it back to him tomorrow. I told him I'd get this video out tonight. I'm sorry, guys, it took so long. But just had some issues that I needed to get tended to. And plus, I just wanted to put it through its paces. I wanted to vape the piss out of it. I wanted to, put it through its rigors and make sure that it held up. And it does. I think it's bulletproof, but I figured he'd be mad if I shot it. So I didn't shoot it. But I did drop it, and nothing. There's zero issues, zero marring. There's none. You can't see. I'm sure Keith's going to go over it with like a fine-tooth comb. But it's fine. I mean, just that seam just drives me crazy. Look at that. Look how tight that is. Very pretty. And that's what you get when you tip a Jenny over too long. So there it is, boys and girls. The big, huge mod that I've been dealing with for the past couple of weeks. If you guys seen it now you know what it is. You know who to get a hold of and get one. So thanks a lot for listening. I do appreciate it. And got vape.